blood and club, those gauging puppy ruptures, nickel tripping, shutting fuckers down, fucking them coppers down, round after round after round, bloody bodies, badges spread it on.
What's up? What's up? This is Spooky Chola.
And this is Chief Yaki. What's up?
Uncensored. Today's special guest is LA Warrior. What's up, LA Warrior?
What up?
LA Warrior's a author, entrepreneur, family advocate.
That's what's up.
So, Erika, go ahead and tell me about yourself.
Thank you guys. First of all, I want to say thank you for putting this together, and thank you for doing what you do on giving, people a voice to express and just show what they're up to.
Thank you.
Most definitely. I think me and you come from a background where there's so many things that we can say and so many things put us where we're at today.
Yeah, made you the strong women that you guys are. So, what you got going on?
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. So, I know that I met you on TikTok, Spooky, and you've always been an encouragement to me, and thank you for the love that you show on my page. Honestly.
Always. I've seen it since day one, girl. I knew it was going to be something eventually.
And that's how it should be, though. Women supporting women. Raza supporting raza. Let's keep that 100, Yep. So that's what's up.
So tell me a little bit about what you got going on. I know you're an author. And tell me a little bit about your books.
Everybody's waiting to hear.
Thank you. Yeah, so to start off, my name is Erika Ruiz, and I was born and raised here in the city of Los Angeles, here in a small town called Silver Lake, and it's between Hollywood and Echo Park.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so me growing up here has really been a blessing to me, not even knowing it was a blessing to me, honestly. My both parents came from Mexico to, come here for a better life, a better life. And little did I know I would be, raised somewhere where I would be blessed to live in, which is the City of Angels.
Right.
That's right.
Also between, close to Hollywood, where all the movie stars are at. And just to mention that my dad was a mariachi as well.
Nice.
That's dope.
Yeah. So my grandpa.
How beautiful.
It is. Honestly, it is. My grandpa was also a mariachi here on First Street.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Mexico. So, he's very well known right there as well. And I just found out, even not long ago, when my mom came over here to live over here, she pretty much started living here in East LA on First Street and Soto.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. I lived not too far from that. That's funny.
Really?
Yeah. I lived right off of Whittier Boulevard and Turquoise.
Okay.
And then I lived in El Sereno off Huntington Drive, and where Soto turns into Huntington Drive.
Oh, wow.
Dang.
Okay.
Yeah. So I grew up in that area. Cypress Park, Highland Park area, my dad's side of the family. So that's crazy that our worlds are met on TikTok.
Yeah, I know, right? What a small world. When you really see it like that, you realize how small the world really is.
Right.
Yes. Because those are all small towns, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's an ant compared to LA, you know what I mean? Because LA's so big.
There's so many cities within, right?
Inner cities.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So growing up here, we grew up a total of 6. It was 3 boys and 3 girls in total.
Uh-huh.
And my parents had bought a home property from this older lady that my parents were helping out a long time ago. That lady, she lived here on Hillhurst. Her name was Peggy Daughtry. I'll never forget her. She was like a grandmother to us, all 6 of us. And she owned a big house with 22 rooms in it.
Dang.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a mansion right there.
It was a mansion, and we would run around I would run around because I remember being a kid and running around there oh my God, I'm flying through all the rooms and everything. She had a room where it was called the coloring room, and that room smelled like Crayolas, and I used to love going in there because she just had everything I needed to.
Is the house still up?
It is still up.
Oh,
and
what?
I pass by there all the time.
It gave me the chills right now.
Yes, I pass by there all the time, you guys, and I always want to go in there and visit. I just feel like I don't want to be weird and invade anybody's property.
Right.
But I mean, I have pictures of us in the past.
Right.
Where
That's
my
wild.
dad did a lot of brickwork there in that home. And I feel like showing it to the owner and being like, look, we really grew up here.
Yeah, you should. I mean, that's a part of your history.
I can send you a picture.
You do. We got to put that in here.
Yeah, sure. You know, it's funny. My best friend, she's still in LA, and we've been best friends since like 94 or something like that. Anyways, she's been in the same house as her mother and her grandmother.
Damn.
Wow.
And it's still up. Like, I'm like, damn. So every time I go, I'm like, damn, like, I can't believe it's a whole family. You feel me? Like her grandma. Yeah. And it's one of those houses that didn't get knocked down for the Pasadena freeway. It was supposed to be. It was supposed to be, but they ended it right there on Valley. So that they were supposed to continue the freeway, and so the house is still there. And it is old, and it's got like 5 or 6 bedrooms as well. It's crazy.
Dang, 22 bedrooms though?
Yeah, this one had 22, and you know what? It even had like on the wall, it had ringers to ring the people that were staying there, because this lady used to rent these rooms to World War II veterans.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it has to have history. I was gonna be like, that has to be a historical place.
Right.
Maybe that's why they can't tear it down, because if it has history,
right,
the city won't allow it, you know?
Yes. And I remember like looking at some of her pictures when she was younger, and she was a dancer in Hollywood, like a professional dancer. I mean, it's too bad I didn't know much about her back then, because I was just a kid. I was probably between 3 to 5 years old when my parents were taking care of her and hang out, you know, and that's one of my best memories I have as a kid.
That's awesome.
Being very united with my family, which was her. I consider her my family.
That's what's up. That's gratitude.
She did a lot for us.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was a total of 6, like I said, 3 boys, 3 girls, and my dad at that time, he was a bricklayer, so he started working in construction. My mom when she came here from Mexico, like I said, she used to sew for a company in Alameda Street.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
In the fashion district now, right?
Yes.
Damn it.
So that's the alley
Downtown
that everybody
LA.
talks about. That's where the alley
By
are.
los callejones.
Right.
Yep. If you know, you know.
Yeah. So
I love the callejones.
Yeah, me too, actually. Yeah, it's like how I grew up, you know?
Yeah.
It's like my hometown here. And, you know, as time passed, I guess my parents were having a difficult time not understanding that, you know, now as a grown-up, I feel like I could understand that not all relationships last.
Mm-hmm.
And so there came a time where my parents were, you know, having arguments. I just remember feeling like there was arguments in the house as we started growing up. And then there was a lot of drinking going on as well. My dad used to have parties there with like his old, like his friends, you know, his local friends. And then just little by little, I just feel like things started really changing.
Yeah.
It wasn't a happy home like it once was, or at least how I remember it, you know?
Yeah.
As a kid. And so that led me to, I would say, you know, start drinking heavily. And I think I didn't know this until I actually went to school for child development, where I realized that having a missing parent, especially a dad, has a lot to do with the effects you suffer with after.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, definitely.
You know, and I had no idea, obviously. And then I want to say also, like, I want to rewind a little memory that I have with my dad, just because I didn't grow up with him, was that because he was a mariachi, he loved singing. He always wanted me to sing, and so he used to have like this DJ at the house where he would put a microphone there so that I can start singing, and then he would say, "Look, we're right here in Hollywood. Estamos aquí donde viven las estrellas." Like the way he would say it like that in Spanish really made me feel like, oh my God, I want to be a movie star.
Right.
You know?
And did you ever sing? Or do you?
I would sing. I do sing when I feel like it. I don't think I've never took like a professional class for singing, but it's been one of my things that I've been wanting to do is to take at least one class so that I can sing better. Out of heart.
Yeah. Just get yourself a microphone, do it yourself in your pad, put some mariachi music, and just sing. If it's in you, it's gonna come out.
Yeah, you'll just blow.
And it's probably in your blood. That's why you're waiting for that moment.
It really is. I feel like it really is. I mean, I love singing. I sing in my car, and I sing when I'm happy. And I feel like those are one of the things that I got from my dad.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's your blood right there. My dad was killed when I was a year. I can relate to how it does affect you. There's like a missing piece of your life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So my dad ended up leaving the home when I was probably like 8 or 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And so, after that, I just remember feeling kind of numb about it. Like, I don't think I had a feeling about it. I feel like I just noticed something was different.
Yeah.
And, then that led me to grow up to start drinking heavily and start ditching school. So by the age 13, I was already ditching school. I was already getting drunk.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
Same here.
Yeah, I think that by age 13 or 14, I got my first tattoo.
Yeah, same here.
Yep. Dang. And you know what? Can I rewind real quick when you were saying about the drinking and stuff?
Yeah.
I think that's all of our households, especially if you grew up in the 80s. Families, like, it was okay.
Right. That's just something we saw.
I was born in Ensenada. You go and hang out to a quinceañera, a party, a wedding, a birthday party. Everybody's drinking. It's normalized.
Right.
Yeah.
Shit,
Yeah, I think so too. I have to agree with that because I feel like when my dad used to have those parties here, it was always drinking.
Yeah.
It was hidden. It was the thing. It's normal to drink.
Back then, especially
so young. Like I'll send you a picture here of like me drinking as a kid, and that was like normal.
It was normal. People are probably like, "What the fuck?" Yeah.
I mean, being even as young kids, they were already passing us the bottle. Like, here, take a sip.
Exactly.
Or go get me a beer.
Yeah.
Like.
I gotta text you.
It's just the way it was.
It's sad. It's what we were dealt with, man. Fuck. That's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And so, growing up in the 80s, I would say late 90s and stuff, it was just the times also where a lot of gangs were more active back then and more visible.
Yeah.
And it was a lifestyle, because I remember growing up and feeling like, oh man, it's almost my turn. Like, it's going to be my turn because my brothers and sisters, they all gangbanged,
Right.
We're all part of a gang, and although they were from separate, different gangs, they got along.
Right.
I remember having like parties in the front yard of our home when they started getting older and stuff like that. And it was a bunch of just us, down ass fucking looking gangster vibes.
Hell yeah. Hey, me and Spooky talk about that shit all the time.
It was something that it was just there. It was part of our upbringing. It was
like you said, a lifestyle. Holmes.
It was a whole lifestyle. Like, even look, I got pictures of my dad holding me, and I'm in a fucking wife beater, and my hair slicked back. But I'm a girl. You feel me? And they called me Little Oso as a baby. You know what I mean? So, like, that's just what you grew up in, and that's what it was.
And
like,
that's what makes me upset on TikTok. I'm gonna point this out. When there's those pretends, that they be like, and I'm like, man, have you guys ever had a homie die? Because of some gang violence? No, you haven't. So please don't come at me with this TikTok crew shit. Right. You feel me? Man.
Exactly.
That gets me heated because we're from, like you said, the 90s, man, if we survived the 80s and 90s, that was a wild time. It ain't like that no more. Now it's streaming, Netflix, and chilling.
Or they feel like they got something to prove, so they just shoot whoever, you know, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we lost a lot of friends. We lost a lot of family members. You know, this was something that people died for the way they looked. You feel me? So it shouldn't be a trend.
But it was also a part of our life, right? And it was good times too with our family, because we knew they had our back. Because in that life, you just need family at the end of the day, right?
Right.
Yeah, and I totally get it when you say that, because I feel like in the beginning, probably like about 2 years ago, 3, I don't know when it started like showing up a lot more, people, you know, dressing up to look that way.
Right.
I would say, but did you live it?
Right. Exactly.
Right. But are you down for that?
We went to go get some Nike Cortez, right? And back in the day, they would be like $60 each. We had to pay like almost $200 for each pair. I said, this better last us 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
What
like you can tell. Honestly, I think that even now you're able to tell who was with it, who lived that, and who hasn't.
Oh, hell yeah. There's people who just try so damn hard. You wouldn't want to go through some of the things that we had to, because we had to.
Right.
Shit. And the things that we saw, man, we had to grow up quick. Nah, it's a different life. You can definitely spot out the real
they used to kick us out of the house just to, you know.
Get your ass out of here, come back after dark.
Just to kick it with everybody, you feel me? Like, so, you know, we were outside looking through the windows like, can we come in? You know?
Yeah, for real.
Can I go in my house?
Shit. For sure. Man.
For real.
That's funny.
Different times.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, just me watching my sisters feather up their hair also just made me feel even more encouraged to join a gang, you know, and eventually I did. I got jumped into a gang, and, you know, it empowered me, because by then my dad wasn't home anymore. There was a lot going on in the house, and I had no idea why I was feeling so angry at my brothers and my sisters, and we would fight a lot, and it's like I just became very rebellious, you know?
Yep.
And then too, like, we turned to the gangs for love.
Right.
You know what I'm
saying?
So, acceptance, and, you know, you feel like this person has got your back, period, point blank. You know what I mean? And a lot of us learn otherwise, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, for sure. And then even that, like, getting jumped, it, like, pumped me up to be even tougher, you know? And, like, fights were a way of me to release.
Right.
And so I respected, like, no one can fuck with me, you know?
Right.
Like, it was just something that that really just kept me going. It kept my drive up.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like at that time, you know, when there was other gangs that were around, you know, obviously you hit them up, and that really empowered me back then, you know. So I felt like I just continued, and that's what really brought me up to be a lot more known back then.
Right.
Yeah, we all have to do that, because fuck, if not, it's gonna be us getting jumped.
That's true. Yeah, so a little bit after that, then after that, I feel like I went through an experience of also getting betrayed by my own homeboys and my homegirls. And that really put me in a moment of reality, you know?
Yep.
And I write about that on one of my books, honestly, because I feel like that was my very first betrayal.
Right.
My very first betrayal I experienced was getting set up and almost stabbed by a kitchen knife. And that really, really threw me off, because I was like, what?
Like, how could they do that to me?
Yep.
Yeah, like, how could you do this to me? You know, like, not only was I a part of you, but, like, we grew up together, you know, like, these were kids from the block. These were kids that I grew up with, and when, you know, things just started changing back then. And I remember feeling like my brothers and sisters, like their homeboys would never do this to them.
Yeah.
Like, how could this be, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that was my very first betrayal. And that was when I felt like, oh, you know, like I gotta run solo with my life.
Yeah,
like I can't trust anybody.
That's fucked up. And you know what? It's that's how gangs are sometimes. You know, it's like a toxic relationship. Either it's gonna go good or it's gonna go fucking sideways real quick. And people are people. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's a gang, a friendship, a relationship. You know what I'm saying? The switch up is real, people. Me and Spooky, we stick to ourselves. Like when I mean that with my soul, because we do have people that we're
associate with a lot of people.
Of course, we got a circle of people, but what I'm saying is we don't go out there and go kick it with everybody to see what's up. You feel me?
Right.
We know the deal. Yeah. So betrayal has been on our side too. Like, what the? Who? I know you, motherfucking
the closest people to me,
right?
Like me in the back, you know. But you know what's clowning is that I was so trustworthy with people. Even growing up in that gang life, like I was so trusting with everybody up until my early 30s is when I started seeing people's true colors.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the older I got, that's when I started noticing, oh, these people are, you know, they're I shouldn't be hanging out with these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like it took me until I was 30 something.
Sometimes I was gonna say that because you know before I felt like I could trust people, like it was just so easy, right?
Yes, I was an open book, you know,
like your own family, you know, like your own blood.
Yep, that's a fact.
So that's kind of sad. That's like a sad reality check, but it's very true because when you listen to a lot of stories, I feel like a lot of us, every single one of us, can relate to that.
Oh hell yeah! Look, we're relating right now. When you're telling your story, we're all like, damn.
I know, it brings back memories with people.
Are you my cousin? Hey, right? Are you my long lost prima?
Yeah.
That's how it was in a Mexican household in the 80s, man. Like, it's sad, but most were. Not all of them, but most were. Like I said, we're survivors, shit. We out here, and we could talk about it and be like, damn, that's crazy, huh? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So then a little bit after that, well, actually, it was before that my older brother stepped in because I was messing up in school, you know, like I was just fucking up. I was drinking a lot. My mom couldn't handle me no more. And he literally came to pick me up.
Were your siblings different than you?
My older brother?
Yeah.
Like, were they all
gang members or no? Like,
yeah, they were. They were all about it. And then actually my older brother had a little thing against me because I ended up joining a gang that was
rival.
You know, a rival.
Yeah.
And I remember, and I have this on my book because I remember him sitting there after he like just beat the crap out of me once, and he was like, "Look, I'm just worried about you." And he's like, "Let me ask you something. If they were to ask you to kill me or my older sister, you know, would you do it?" And then I remember looking at him and thinking, I was like, yeah, I would. And he smacks me in the head.
Damn.
Like,
reality check.
You don't do that.
Right.
Damn. And then there's the music in the background.
Like, right. Then the saxophones got louder. Look.
The saxophones got louder.
Yeah, exactly. You don't do that shit. And then I'm over here thinking, yeah, but I gotta be down as fuck, right?
Right.
And he's like, you don't fuck with family. You don't do that shit. Yeah. And then, you know, I get it now that he was just worried. So he took me to live with him, and he lived in East LA right there on Whittier and Kern. And that was when I started going to Griffith Middle School. So I ended up going over there for the last year of my junior high school year. And I remember sobering up, like the trees looked so green and everything was so clear to me, you know. And then that's when I realized how much I had been drinking all those like few years, you know, that I was in junior high, and how fast my life just went.
Do you feel like you lost your, like those years? Do you feel like Like,
you know what? It's kind of like a bittersweet feeling that I feel, because in a sense, I really enjoyed my teenage self back then, but because I was so numb to things, I was always I was happy because I was so sad. You know what I mean? Like, I was so sad and angry, but me drinking it off,
it was an escape for you. Yeah.
And I didn't realize how long I was living that until I started really sobering up, you know?
Like, it took me for my mom to grab me by my hair and throw me in the shower to like really wake me up about what I was doing in that time era. Like, my mom, she was always working, you know what I mean? When she had 3 kids of her own, she was supporting us all. At a time of my life, I was like into drugs, and I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll try anything, you know what I mean? And I had came home as somebody fucking spiked the fucking blunt, and pretty much I was on PCP, and I came home like that, and my mom grabbed me by my hair and threw me in the shower. I mean, I'm still probably grounded. Rest in peace, mama. I hear you.
Rest in peace.
But you know what I mean? Like, she really like grabbed a hold of me and was like, you ain't ever leaving this house ever again. Like, you know what I mean? And so like, it took a reality check of seeing my mom sitting there going through my purse, and I was like, fuck, like, you know, I'm busted now forever, you know?
Again, you were looking for an escape too. Shit, I was the same way in San Diego. Shit, down fucking south of LA, and it gets funky over there too. So drugs are everywhere, you know, and you just escape. You just use them. I remember seeing my homies get stuck and just looking at them and being like, what's up, fool? And then being like fucking kicking shadows and shit. What happened? Oh, you know, I took some bad shit. Like, damn, man, what the fuck?
You know, I'm glad that you brought that up, though, because after living in East LA for about a year and a half, then I ended up coming back to LA, and then I started going to school at Belmont High School, which is here on West 2nd Street by MacArthur Park. Yeah, so that's where I started running after, and then, you know, I was still drinking, but then my choice of beer wasn't like Mickey D's 40 ounce anymore. It was Jack Daniels and Cisco's.
Right. Damn, the Cisco shit. Yeah. Fuck, the purple one. Jesus.
And I had smoked weed a few times, you know, so I know what it felt like to smoke weed, and so when I was going to Belmont High School, you know, I was still ditching, but it wasn't as much as I used to. It was more like my life was getting back to balance, you know? But at the same time, I felt like I could reward myself, you know, with getting drunk here and there a little bit, because I felt proud of myself too, that I had already graduated junior high school, and I was already moving on to other stuff, you know?
Yeah. Right.
But then after that, I remember meeting up with somebody because he wanted to borrow my cassettes, you know? And then I was like, hell yeah, I'll let you borrow some of my music. And back then we had cassettes.
Hell yeah. Shout out to the cassettes.
So I remember taking him some cassettes early in the morning, and when I got to his house, it smelled like bud in there, you know? Like, as soon as he opened the door, he was bumping the oldies, and it smelled like bud, and then I was like, oh, hell yeah. And I was like, too bad I didn't bring my drink, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was going to be like this. Yeah, so then that morning, as he was smoking out, you know, he offered me, and I was like, yeah, I'll take a hit. So then I ended up taking a deep hit, thinking it was just weed, you know?
Right.
And that shit spiraled. It was not fucking weed at all. And I remember I started feeling like anxiety. I had never felt anxiety in my life. Like, I had no idea what that felt like. And I started feeling like my heart was racing, and my brain was burning, and my brain was like literally frying up. And then I started feeling paranoid, like just paranoid as fuck. And then I remember asking him, like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, it's just weed. And I was like, this shit is not smoking weed, but then
because you could feel
I
the
couldn't
difference.
control myself. Yeah, like you can totally tell the difference, and I couldn't control myself anymore at that time, you guys. Like I was like in a whole different world.
Man,
I understand completely.
You gotta trust motherfuckers. It doesn't matter who the fuck it is.
So on that note, too, as well, when that day when my mom grabbed me by my hair and threw me in the shower, when I was smoking it, I didn't know I was smoking it until I woke up. And when I woke up, they were playing like oldies too, and they were playing that song, The Double Dutch Bus, right?
Oh no.
So what I was seeing, and I remember this. So they were playing that song, and all of a sudden everything turned into a cartoon. And I saw the Double Dutch Bus, okay? It was a short yellow bus, okay? And it was coming through, okay? But when I woke up, there was a fool on top of me. And I was like, what the fuck, right? So I'm like trying to get off me, right? Get off me. And I get up, and I'm still all fucked up, right? I get up from the couch, and my homegirl's on the floor with his homeboy on top of her.
Wow.
So that was a whole setup. So I went home all fucked up. My hair was all fucked up. I lost a lot of my rings that were on my hands, like jewelry. I was walking home, and I was holding on to fences walking home. Like it wasn't just, my mom beating my ass. It led up to my mom beating my ass. You feel me? And so, and I always tell people about that because you never know what you're smoking. It's like if somebody rolls that shit before you watch them do it, like, man, you don't know what's in there,
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's true. And honestly, that experience to me made me have an out-of-body experience to where I literally died.
Yes,
I felt my body numb, and I felt like I was running to get back to school, and I was running through the streets. Like, the cars had me paranoid as hell. And then I remember hitting my head really hard because I couldn't run out of my brain. Like, like if you understand me what I'm saying, when I'm like, I couldn't make the feeling go away, and I just couldn't get out of it. I was stuck. I was fucked, you know? And then eventually during that time, like, I guess I had passed out at school, and I remember feeling like I was looking at people, but only my eyes were alive because I couldn't even talk anymore. Like I would scream inside, but I was stuck in my head.
Right. Yep.
And nobody could hear me. Like nobody could fucking hear me. Like
paralysis almost.
Yeah.
Yes, I was literally in a stuck in my brain syndrome. I think they call it. Like there's a condition where people don't get out of that. You know?
It's like an outer body. It's astral projecting, and your spirit's trying to wake you up and tell you like, hey, this is not cool no more.
Baby,
kind of like, bitch, wake up. You know what I mean? Like, for sure.
Yeah.
That's exactly the way it was, and I remember feeling like, fuck, am I dead? Like, what the fuck, And I would hit my hands, and I would feel my hands. I remember squeezing them and being like, am I fucking here? Like, am I not here anymore?
Right.
And then I had nothing to turn to but God at that time. Like, I was like, fuck. All that time, my mom would make me pray, and I would hate it as fuck.
Right.
Like, this is the time, this is all I have. Is my brain, is my head,
Right.
And so my thoughts started racing and talking to God and being like, you know what, God, like if you help me live, I promise I will never do drugs again. Like I promise my life will change. I'm not gonna be what I was anymore, And that went on for months. It went on for months. And it took me a long time for me to recover from that. I remember my mom taking me to the county hospital because I couldn't control myself. I was afraid of killing myself because I couldn't feel myself anymore. My body was numb, And I felt like I didn't want to live anymore. Not because I was suicidal, because I wanted to take my life. It was more like I had to at that time. I felt like this is not going away. I don't want to be here suffering this. Like, I just want to die.
Yeah.
You know? And so that went on for a while. And then I remember I would go to school because I wasn't really aware. It was like I was stuck between hallucinations and reality. I couldn't understand it anymore.
Right.
And I didn't want to tell my mom what happened because I was scared of her. Like, literally, I'm going to get my ass kicked again.
Yeah.
Right.
And I need help. So I didn't know who to tell, really.
Right.
And then I remember hiding in the restroom one day because I couldn't even be in class. Like, everything was making me feel paranoid. And so this one girl told me, hey, Erika, why don't you just go to church? And I was like, I can't. Like, what am I going to do there? And then, anyways, the whole long story short is that took a while for me to recover. It took me a while for me to think again straight and be out in the world, you know, like be able to be out there. But at the same time, I feel like I was never exactly normal again.
Right.
You know, and then I graduated high school because I went to school day and night.
It's almost like surviving trauma, you know?
Right. That's PTSD.
Yeah, big time. Big time. It's like your brain can't comprehend that, you know, like has a lot to do with trauma, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It took me a few years of therapy also and medication for me to function normally. And so little by little, I just felt like I just had to take it day by day and just trust and have faith because if I didn't have faith, then I didn't have anything. You know, I feel like even people that don't believe, I feel like when they go through something like this, it's like you almost have to believe in something.
Yeah, you have to believe in something.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
You know, because like for me, I hated my mom taking me to church, you know, having us pray on our knees almost every night. Like I used to hate that and I used to despise it. But then like when I really needed it and I didn't have a choice, that's all I had.
Right.
You know, so like eventually I graduated high school, but even then I was like, are they going to say my name?
Right.
Do they even know I'm here? Like, it was so unreal.
Yeah, am I supposed to be here today?
Right. You're like, what's going on?
Exactly. Time passed and I'm just like, here? What the hell?
Yeah.
You know? And
That's
so I was happy that I did, but at the same time, I was still struggling, like, understanding things, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And then as time passed by, a little bit more, then I met somebody. I met one of my homegirl's older brother, which lived down the street, and we ended up connecting, you know. And back then, we didn't have cell phones, so I remember him giving me his phone number in like a piece of paper.
Right.
You know?
That's how we did it back then.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember being like, I don't want to talk to this fool, so I like threw away the paper, you know?
Yeah.
And then, like, a few days later, he was like, hey, you never called me. And I'm like, duh, of course. Like, I don't really want to talk to you, right? But then, you know, he was, like, being nice and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll talk to him, right? So then I remember I started, like, hanging out with him. And he was older than me, so he had a car. So to me, I mean, I was like, what, 17, 18? I was 17. So I remember being like, oh, okay, this guy has a car.
Right, he has his life together. Right.
Yeah, exactly, you know? So then that even made me feel like, okay, you know, like I'll talk to this guy, get to know him. So he would start picking me up and then we would just hang out and eat and talk, you know, and that really, made me feel safe with him because he would listen to me.
Yeah.
You know? And then eventually, like, I ended up having kids with this guy. I had one son, and then I feel like that's when a lot of signs, red flags started popping up. You know, like he was being very territorial with me. He was being aggressive. He was spying on me. And then everything just changed, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember feeling like, what the hell is wrong with this man? And so anyways, that's when little by little I started noticing signs of domestic violence. And I didn't even know. At some point, I got stuck in a cycle of domestic violence, which started being physical, then it became verbal and emotional, and then eventually, like, the physical part stopped, but then the emotional part, like putting me down, yelling at me in my face, spying on me, didn't let me go out with friends. Like, I wasn't allowed to have friends because he didn't want nobody to see me.
I think we were married to the same guy.
Fuck. For real? Like, damn.
You know what? I listen to stories like this, and this is why I talk about it so much on my TikToks and on my social medias, because so many people are going through this. So many women go through this, and you know, I've learned that men go through this too. But of course, I like to speak on women because I'm a woman, so I feel like I can relate to it.
Your own experience.
I can talk about it.
Right, your own experience. Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, and I hear this all the time. Like, how is it that this is so similar? Like, what the hell?
That's what happened with Spooky. Yeah, she had a similar situation where it was toxic and bad, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I lasted 23 years with this man.
I lasted
yeah,
16 years of my.
Yeah, and so while I was in this relationship, you know, when I finally left him and I finally had the courage to leave him after, I think it was 15, 17 years later, I had the courage to tell him, like, you know what, I can't live off of your expectations, what you want from me. Like, I just can't. And then that's when I started going out a little bit more. Where I caught him cheating on me online, using my credit card for like porn and websites and things like that. And that really messed me up. Like, I was like, how the hell? First, I don't understand why you're being so mean to me. Now I'm like seeing that you've been hooking up with women, you know, and that's messed up. Like, I couldn't understand that. Like, he had everything at home, which is how I felt. Like, by that time, I already was running a business. I had always been working. I worked in the medical field for a while, and then I did my own daycare. And then eventually I lost everything. Like, I ended up losing everything because I was so focused on this relationship where I wanted to save our relationship because I had kids with him. And I grew up with no dad, so I wanted my kids to have a dad so bad, you know? So I like took it and I took it and I took it. And I would say to myself, eventually, like, he's going to change. Eventually, he's going to stop.
Yeah.
He never stopped. Things got so bad that I ended up suffering a nervous breakdown.
Wow.
And I didn't even know it was a nervous breakdown. All I know is that my body went weak. My mind, I couldn't hold things anymore. Like, my mind was worse.
Your body was shutting down with the stress.
It was.
And to think that you came out of it as well is tremendous. Like, because a lot of people will get stuck. I was taking care. I work in mental health, and one of the ladies was very, very young, and she suffered. Her trauma was so bad, like she had dementia in her 30s. It was insane.
Wow, yeah.
You know, mental trauma because of the stress. That's
because of the stress.
Yeah.
Yeah, stress will do so much to your body that I literally felt like my body was getting crippled, like literally shriveling up out of tension, that I ended up seeing a doctor, a cervical doctor, and he took a scan of my head. And literally the stress was so bad that it was shifting the discs on the back of my neck.
Oh, that's crazy.
And it was causing me to get vertigo and dizziness. That means I couldn't walk or stand. My face was going crooked. My hair was falling off. And I couldn't understand what was happening to me until I couldn't get out of bed.
Not only that, but you could have been through so much worse. My aunt got killed because of her husband. Things like that happen all the time. So you survive that.
It takes strength to walk away from somebody. Even though you love them and you love them with everything, man, like with everything, but sometimes you just gotta walk away.
Yeah, and I'm actually glad he walked away because he ended up hooking up with somebody he was cheating on me with, which was a family friend, somebody I even helped take care of her kids for free in my daycare to help her out.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like that bitch just straight out was waiting for this to happen because I had already noticed she was like, when you notice somebody's jealous of your relationship and they're like little sarcasm,
right.
like they throw little things at you, little shades.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't even know where it's coming from until later, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
You're like, "That's why that bitch was acting like that." Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And then that made me feel worse. Because I'm like, I helped this bitch. Like, I literally helped her with her kids, and she's been in my home, and we were in her wedding. And how could she do this?
Mm-hmm.
As a woman, how could you do this? Because as a man, I feel, will fall into anything that lets you in. Like most men, I shouldn't speak for all of them, but I feel like most men, and mine was one of them.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that even till later too, because he would talk so much about her in a negative way that I was like, okay,
Isn't that funny though? Like they talk so negative about the person, it's crazy, and then
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then little did I know it was because he was already sneaking around with her,
Damn.
Uh-huh.
Fuck
and
that
so,
shit.
Yeah, and then it was until the time I ended up getting a home care nurse to come visit me because I couldn't get out of bed. I was literally on diapers, and I don't think I've ever really said this in public because I was so ashamed and embarrassed about it. But I feel like me talking about it here today will release me, and it'll give me a sense of healing,
Hell yeah, and that's what we're here to do is empower you.
Your time to feel free.
Yep. Like, cut them chains and that's it. Everybody got a past, but it's what we go through what makes us who we are fucking now at the moment.
Yeah, and that's why, Spooky, like, when you reached out to me, I was kind of glad because I feel like this is my time to really talk about that time to, things that were embarrassing to me to share.
Right.
Because I didn't want, like, haters to get a thrill off of it. Like, oh, yeah, look at this tough bitch. She's always been tough, but fuck her, she ain't shit. Like, that's how I picture them talking about me.
You know what? It's clowning you say that because I feel the same way. I know, like, when somebody's giving me the ojo, you know what I mean? Like, I know because I go off of energy. And if your energy is funky, girl, like, I know, you know what I mean? Like, I can tell, it's like, and I'm always right on everything that's fucking, that's brought to my attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You always end up saying that at the end, like, fuck, I knew that bitch was fucking,
Right. And, I remember that nurse looking at me one day and telling me, Erika, you need to snap out of this. Like, some people don't get out of this, and you look like a mommy. Like, she literally told me like that, and I remember being like, bitch.
Hey.
But then at the same time, I was like,
you needed that tough love. You needed that tough love.
Exactly.
You know what? Like, for instance, I don't tell people, like, most of on my social medias, nobody knows when I'm going through something bad. You will never see me fucking crying on social media for me because of that situation, because I know that I have so many bitches looking at me. They're listening right now. Bullshit. Okay.
Exes to fucking wanna be used to all that shit. We all got them.
Everybody. And so, like, I know that they watch. And that's why they will never see me down. Yeah, I'll talk about it later. I'll tell you, if you see me in a cane, bitch, don't, That's the only thing you got to say about me. You know what I mean?
But that's the empowerment part, is you got to talk about that shit sometimes, because you know what? Other people go through worse.
And even I talked to my therapist as well about it, because I tell her, like, I can't, hell no. I was like, I can't be shown like I'm down right now. Fuck no. It took a year after my foot surgery, a year for me to be able to try to even walk. You feel me?
Yeah.
So where I was comfortable enough to be like, you know what? Yeah, I've been down for the last year, even though you didn't even notice that I've been in my bed every fucking TikTok.
Right.
I'm usually in bed. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
but
people
you look
don't
damn
know.
good. You look damn good. You know
what I'm saying? Like, nobody knows what I went through because I have that. Because people, there's so many people that fucking hate me.
When I saw her down, this is where the whole empowerment thing comes. I was like, fuck that shit. We're going to make a podcast and we're going to speak on all this shit that we got to speak about. You got to rise above the bullshit, straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of what you go through is what makes you to become what you are today, which, you know, you guys are sharing stories on podcasts. And it's like, for me, like, after I lost everything, including myself and my sanity, and I was going literally homeless, and I owed so much, and my house became a freaking whorehouse, like how do you say that? Like a horror house?
Yeah.
Hoarder house.
A hoarder. Oh, I was like a whorehouse.
Those are two different things.
Hey, you, damn.
Hey, I didn't even have the mind to be a fucking whore back then.
Right. You're like, I ain't got the strength or the energy right now. You guys got me fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. But my house was a mess. I couldn't clean it no more.
That's depression, and that's okay, because you know what? We all go through that shit. Like, nobody can fucking say, I've never been through depression. You're fucking lying. Look, depression hits everybody. I don't care what color you are, age, identity, it doesn't matter. Right. It's going to hit you, and that's a part of mental health as well. Because if you keep it all bottled inside, it's going to start eating you up from the inside. You feel me? And fuck what people say. If people got something to say, oh, well, then your life is perfect. Get off this shit. Don't listen. Right? Shit. Yeah. Kick rocks.
Yeah, it's like if you can't relate to it, then don't speak on it.
Yeah. Exactly. Mind your fucking business.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, after all the betrayals, all the hurts, pain, and abuse that was, like, thrown at me, and, you know, I just feel like all of that shit just made me the fucking LA warrior I am today.
That's right.
That's where I called my name. That's where I changed my name from Wacky to LA Warrior. Yeah. And till today, it's what I do. I feel like God has put me in this mission for me to share and express my life.
You know your purpose.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The things that I've gone through is what I need to speak on. And it's to help others, to really just educate them and get some kind of knowledge to where hopefully it helps them in their life, you know? And,
exactly.
And that's where I started my Healing Warriors program for women, where, you know, I put together a program online called Healing Warriors for Women, where I teach them my notebook called Heal Yourself, Forgive Yourself, which is a healing and forgiveness process that I go through with women, and that has really, really helped to empower a lot of them. And the tools I put into my book, there are tools that I've used in my life that have helped me overcome domestic violence.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, and that's where that comes out. And then, you know, my book, My Story Is Mine, a look into my past, has a lot to do with my overdose experience and how I spread awareness now to teenagers on drug, pretty much drug
prevention.
Drug prevention, you know, because again, not everybody comes out of it alive. Not everybody comes out of it normal. Some people end up vegetated states in the hospitals forever.
Yes.
You know, and a lot of them die.
Or living out in the city because they got nowhere else to go.
Yeah, or just stuck. Like we've seen it all. You know.
Yeah, and that's where I've been blessed chance to be able to go to the Boys and Girls Club to talk about my book and let these kids, you know, ask me questions that they have in regards to my book. And I've also done a Young Authors Academy where I help kids publish their own books. So I'm very happy for that because I'll also to mention that it's been 3 years that I reopened my daycare again here.
That's what's up. Congratulations.
I'm so happy about that. So
hell yeah.
Thank you. So after having my home, a literally cluttered home, I threw everything away. One day I found the courage to fucking throw everything away.
Good.
And I converted my home into a whole daycare center.
That's what's up. Hey. A new beginning.
Yeah, so now I have, thank you. Yeah, I have my niece help me and my son help me, and we just all kind of just, you know, did what we could daily because it was a process. It took a while for me to get to where I am right now. And, you know, at the same time, I'm very just happy to be alive and to be breathing here today and to be looking the way that I do.
I know, girl. You look good.
What?
Yeah, I was like, okay, spooky.
Thank you. I was looking like shit for a long time because I was treated like shit. But at the same time, I feel like, man, I got to show these women how beautiful it is to express yourself.
And learn how to keep up. Exactly.
You got to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you ain't going to love nobody motherfucking else.
Right. Where can our audience purchase one of your books?
So you can get any of my books on Amazon, and you can search button author Erika Ruiz, and then you can find them there. Also, I do encourage people to reach out to me, inbox me in my TikTok under I am LA Warrior, or my Instagram under LA Warrior_E. To purchase the book for me personally, because that's where I can autograph it and mail it out to you.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get one, and we're going to put all that information out, everything that you got to offer. That is so much fun. Another business venture that you got going on.
Yeah, so I want to mention also how I started talking about my experience in public and with women as well. So I was able to attend a women's events through Women in Progress, which is supporting women that are recently come out of prison, and to help them cope through, like, you know, with adapting to life and everything. So I was able to be there, and that was just a blessing to me right there as well. And I was also going to mention that I do have a book coming out called LA Warriors Beauty Behind the Lens.
Okay.
And that one is just going to be, you know, pictures of me expressing myself, because I feel like a lot of times people, like women, are shamed when they look good. You know, like, oh, that bitch just thinks. Yeah, she thinks because.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like Spooky. I'm like, come on, we gotta go to the store. She's like, hold up, let me get ready. What you mean? We're gonna go to the store. I'm like, oh man.
Okay. Like, I can't be out there with no eyebrows.
Right. She shows out. She don't give a damn. I'm like, man.
Yeah. And I think like there's a big misunderstanding with like thinking you're all that versus being all that, because why not express yourself? We're here on earth to be able to do what we choose, you know?
Right.
It's about beauty. It's not about sexualizing it.
Right. To me,
there's a difference.
It's not sexualizing. To me, it's just me. I'm you know, what you call like one of those free birds, you know what I mean?
And anybody who knows Spooky, we've all seen the videos, guys. I'm just playing. You know what I mean? That's her, you know, and I'll be right there.
Me in real life.
I'll be right there eating a bologna sandwich.
I don't just play a character on TikTok. Look.
Right. We're over here watching a movie, and she takes a break to do TikToks. Why? Because she's feeling herself at the moment. Am I going to hate? No. Do you? I'm like, oh, shit, you know, because that's... Yeah. It's nothing wrong. It's that you're feeling yourself, and you have to do that to love yourself, right?
Exactly. And with that being said, I do have a recent book release called In Love with an Inmate.
Awesome.
A love story behind bars, and it's my first story that I published.
Okay.
That's a romance fantasy book. And
That's right.
Oh,
that's right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Everybody needs some spice in their life. Let's keep it 100.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly. I feel like we all
Prison wives, that's something you might want to look into. Look.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like we all can make time to have a little fun in life,
Right.
Of
right?
course.
Yeah, and so that one I'm creating it into a short film on my YouTube channel.
Oh,
coming
nice.
soon, guys. So I'll keep you guys posted on
For
that
sure,
one.
for sure.
Hell yeah. When you do
Wow.
that, we'll have you back on so you can talk about it and
Yep.
let us know way more about
Or
that.
even if you have an event, you can always come back and
Yeah.
be like, hey, Spooky, let's do a little quick session.
a little
You know what
5
I mean?
minutes so we can,
So we can
promote.
tell everybody that I'm going to be here or,
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? Because
We come on here weekly. Yeah. We'll make time for
Yeah.
everybody. That's right.
So,
And so, yeah, though that book is the one I'm kind of like playing with because it is gonna be my very first short film. And so I have the one of my overdose is gonna be another upcoming one along with the Why Is Daddy in Prison one.
nice.
That's really good.
Can you
Yeah.
let us know again what YouTube that is?
So my YouTube, let me give you the correct one because I have two of them. You guys can follow me on my personal YouTube one, which I'm under LA Warrior 213.
Okay.
That's my personal one. That's where you can see me just being myself and talking about whatever I want, or lip singing and doing my TikToks. You know?
That's right.
And then my filmmaking one is under LA Warrior Productions.
Okay.
And that's the one where I'm going to be airing out the short film.
That
Anything
sounds
that has
really
to do with
exciting.
films, I'm going to air out there.
Awesome.
Yeah. So thank you so much, you guys, for
We
this
appreciate you.
opportunity.
And thank you for giving us your time. We are very proud of you,
Right.
and you got to keep that
Thank
momentum
you.
going. You know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure you're making many people proud.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
I just want to say, just because, we've been following each other for a very long time, thank you for coming on here because, like you said, you're an inspiration. And so I want people to see that. Like I try to see outside the bubble, you know what I mean? So,
Right.
You're a chingona. Straight
That's
up.
right. That's
You know
right.
what I mean?
Thank
So
you.
please check her out and
Show her some love and respect.
Thank you so much.
And with that being said, this is Spooky Chola
And Chief Yaki.
Uncensored. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Al rato.